So it is No Shave November still. Does everyone have their warm-up sheet out? Because unless you just did it and you're so smart you did it without needing any assistance. But I want everyone to have their warm-up sheet out. Okay, looking up here, this is what you were doing the last 2 days on 4.3. You take a standard form, turn it into a vertex form. First thing you have to do when you're doing these, by the way, test Friday. Okay, we're going to review tomorrow. Today's assignment's going to be super easy, promise. But for this warm-up, we need to figure out A, B, and C. So remember, A is in front of the x squared, B is in front of the x, C is the constant. So what's my A value? Everybody, what's my A value? What's the number in front? 3, okay? B, please be careful, what's my B value here? If you put a positive 6, you're going to get it all wrong. Okay, a lot of work for nothing. So please remember, the sign goes with it. This is a negative 6. What about C? Okay, again, 8 has a negative in front of it, so it's a negative 8, right? Okay, does everyone understand from yesterday's assignment that you should have already done, but if you didn't, you're learning it real quick? A, B, and C, you got to figure that out first, okay? Step 2. Who can tell me what's the little equation we use? X equals what? Not 1, sorry. I mean, like, what's the little equation that we're going to use to figure out what X equals? Okay, negative B over 2A. You should have been using that yesterday and the day before on the notes, so does that sound kind of familiar, hopefully? If not, make sure you're writing this down, not just sitting there looking around. Okay, negative B over 2A. Okay, you have to do negative B over 2A, right? Hey. You should remove that from your hand. In your brain, in your eyes. Okay, thank you. Now, negative B means the opposite of B. So if B is negative 6, what am I going to write? Regular 6, positive 6. Does everyone hear me say this? Okay, whatever B is, you change the sign. If you don't change the sign, you're going to get the wrong number. Okay, so again, this is a positive 6 because it's the opposite of this B value, negative 6. On the bottom, 2 times A. What's A? 3. So 2 times A is 2 times 3, okay? Everyone's able to write negative B over 2A, plug in everything, and now let's simplify it. On the bottom, 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 is on top, 6 is on the bottom. 6 divided by 6 gives you what? Okay, that gives you 1. Now, I did all that to find X. The X value of your vertex is really called H, okay? So 1 is my H value, cool? Now, again, if you followed the notes from Monday, you were doing this yesterday on your assignment, the next step is you're gonna plug that X value into this original equation, okay? So I'm gonna rewrite this original equation. Instead of f of X, I'm gonna put Y equals, everywhere I see X, these two places, I'm going to put what instead of X? The number you just got. Okay? So it could be some other number. Whatever you solve for X has to go back into the equation. So let's go ahead and rewrite it. Please use parentheses when you do this or you might get it wrong. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite this. So the first number is 3, and instead of X, I'm going to put parentheses 1 squared minus 6, and instead of X, what do I put? 1. Right? We just solved X is 1, so instead of X, I'm going to put 1. Okay? With a parentheses. Minus 8. Okay? So everybody hear me. I solve for X, I plug X back in, and I get this ugly looking thing. But you can use your calculator to type this, just this part, into the calculator to get the answer. So let me pull this over here. I go to a new document, don't save calculator. Can I type 3 parentheses 1 squared minus 6 parentheses 1 minus 8? Yes. Okay, here we go. Minus sign, not a negative sign. Minus sign, not a negative sign. Okay. So again, once you get here, you write it out, you type it in one step, right? You hit enter and I get negative 11. Okay. So again, I got x, I plug it back into the equation, that gives me y, but that negative 11 is really the k value. Okay. So back from the beginning, I have an a value, I got the h value, and now I have a k value. To get your equation, you just need those 3 numbers, a, h, and k. So let me show you. This is the vertex form that we've been talking about. That should look familiar from 4.1. What did we say about insiders? What do I know about this h value? Insiders lie, hanging out with that x, you know? Bad news. Now, let's go ahead and replace a, h, and k. So what am I going to put here for a? You see up here? It was the first number we were given, 3. So y equals 3 parentheses x. Now remember, insiders lie, so if my h value is 1, a positive 1, what am I going to write? Negative or minus 1, parentheses squared. And then k is normal, so if k is negative 11, I'm going to put minus 11. Okay. This is the essence of what you were doing the last 2 days. You figure out ABC, you plug into negative b over 2a, you take that, plug it back into the equation, and take a, h, and k and plug it into the vertex form. Okay? You've got to be able to do that, and that's why we did it again on this warm-up. Okay? Now today, if you've been with me for 1 or 2, 3, or even 4 years, okay, you've done this before, or 5 years, right? 7, okay. So let me map this out. So, hold on. Everyone needs a working yellow calculator because you're going to press these buttons with me. Today's just a bunch of calculator stuff. It's not going to be too hard. You just got to know the buttons. I'm going to show you right now. So, go ahead and make sure your calculator's on. Everyone's got the calculator in their hand. I'm going to do some notes. I don't want any interruptions up here in the front. Okay, press the on button. On button, on button. On button. Let's see the screen. Okay. Everyone should be on the on screen. So make sure you're here. So you want to. Okay. We are on screen. Why am I having to press my on screen? Y'all can do this. Just press one button, please.
It turns out it's only fun to go long.
What are you? Okay, now everybody is actually at the on screen. All right, now here's what you're gonna do. Is everyone listening? Press number 1. Hey, press number 1, new document. Don't save, go to no. Now, what you're gonna do today is given a table, give me an equation called a regression. So which one of these looks like the table option? Number 4 looks actually like it. So you do a new document, number 4. Everyone's pressing these buttons. If you're not pressing buttons, what are you doing? You're missing. That's all you are, right? So here we go. So we're almost halfway done with the notes. Look at this. At the bottom, step 4 says, what do you have to put at the top? You have to label X and Y at the top. So in your calculator, go to the top, put X next to A, like this. Go down right up and put Y at the very top. Not this one, not the other one, not on the white part, but the very top. It's a color. So then you need to go down to the white area, skip over this row right here, okay? For some reason this row doesn't matter. Don't ask me why. So the very top is X and Y, then you go down to where it's 1, and now you're gonna start typing in, flip over your notes. I want you to type in this table. That's it. Flip it over. I want you to type in this table right here. Back, raise up, type in this table. So everyone's typing this in, right here. Skip the row, right? You don't need to because it's on your paper in front of you. You don't know what to do. All right, so did you type it in? Everybody typed it in? So it's what? -1, 0, 1, 2, and then 3, 2, 3, 6. Now look at this. You see how I'm still in the box? Make sure you actually press enter after you hit that 6, and you're below 6 now. So here's the special buttons you're going to press to get that equation, okay? It says it right here on step 6, but if you press menu, okay, 4 is statistics, 1 is stat calculations, and 6 is quadratic regression. You're going to press menu 4, 1, 6 for a quadratic regression. Now, there's a very long way to do it by hand, or you can learn these buttons. Right? So menu 4, 1, 6. Here we go. Menu 4, 1, 6. Now, when you get to this,
Oh, look, I got it already. I'm ahead of you.
Write down the equation. So when you get to this screen, you have to click X for X and Y for Y. If you don't do this part, it's not going to work. So again, X must be X, Y must be Y. You can either type X and Y, or you can go to the drop down and pick X and Y. And hit OK. Now hold on. So if you got this far, you have all the information you need to write your answer. Okay. But hang with me. Okay. So we know A is 1, B is 0, C is 2. Do y'all remember our warm up where we were just talking about A, B, and C? Okay. So right here on your notes is the standard form. Right here. So I'm going to rewrite it up here. So is everyone watching me? Okay. F of X equals AX squared plus BX plus C. Okay. So if I know that A equals 1, I'm going to put a 1 right there. If I know B equals 0, I'm going to put a 0 right there. And if C equals 2, I'm going to put that 2 right there. So the X squared and the X still are going to be there. You just got to put in the A, put in the B, put in the C. Okay. So let me make this bigger here. Let's go ahead and write this down. So I'm going to put F of X equals, what do I put instead of A? No. 1 X squared, don't forget the X squared, You always put the x squared after that a number, okay? Now, what's b? 0, so 0x. Don't forget that x. What about c? 2. Do you see how I replaced a, b, and c?
Yeah.
Now, this equation is not wrong, but let me point out two things. Do you see how you have a 1x squared? Usually, you don't see a 1 written. It's just implied. So if you ever have a 1, you can just like not write it. Because x squared is the same thing as just 1x squared, okay? So I'm going to rewrite this. F of x equals straight up x squared. Now, another thing, you never see 0x. 0x means nothing, right? So if you ever have a 0 term, it goes away with the x, okay? And then you can bring down that plus 2. So let me tell you, if you write it like this, it's okay. But this is the best way to write it right here. Can you do those bottom 4 the same way? Spreadsheet, x and y, type in the table, menu 416, ax squared plus bx plus c. So I want you to try those bottom 4 for me, please. Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to actually pass out the assignment. Good question. You can just put minus sign.
Okay, and then this one? Is like over here?
Wait a minute. This is not done. You have to press menu 416.
Yeah, I know, but look. Now it works for
Well,
me.
here's why. You were like in the box still. Do you see how like the cursors are? So if you hit enter, you want a blue box.
Oh, okay.
Now you can do menu 416.
Oh.
So you'll have probably different numbers trying to. Yes. Well? Well?
Oh, yeah. My dog ate it.
Now we're stuck on how to do this.
Yeah. No.
Ooh. Boom.
That's just for everyone.
You have to do all of them.
Well, at least do number 1 on the notes and check it with the board. So the 4 from the notes you can check with the board. At least do a couple of them. But I just passed out the assignment. You want to work on that? You can probably get it done in like 5 minutes, whatever. Okay. So again, this is 4.4. You want to think of if you've done 4.1 through 4.3. Tomorrow review, test Friday. Let's do this 4.4 assignment.